Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Thank you again for joining us here at CCSC. Welcome back to our Blackwoods map build, and we are going to have some massive expansion in this episode. As you can see, we expanded our monorail up to this little bar district over here. All of this little area is serviced heavily by our out-of-town train. This train connects tourists so they can come to our city. It is Garland Square, Barlow District, Oriental Hills, all of this and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed part one, let's go ahead and do a quick recap. We added a tram line up and down this commercial road here, and this tram line services quite a few citizens. We also added crosstown buses over the two overpasses over here. They carry citizens across to the other transit system that we added, which is our monorail system. The monorail has 3 stops now. We ended the last episode with 4 stops. We have changed that. Now it has 3 stops, but we are going to add a 4th, and that 4th stop is going to be up here in Barlow District. So, to address the elephant in the room, as you can see, we've built quite a bit off camera. We have actually surpassed 2 years of off-camera game time. And as you can see, we have not removed this yet, but we have done a lot of land terraforming. We removed all of this soil here. We sloped this terrain here. We've added Garland Square, which is going to be a residential area, a nice little hoity-toity residential area on top of the hills. As you can see, it's kind of got this plateau down here. So some citizens have a nice view of the water there, and some citizens have the nice view of the water on the second plateau. It's got a nice little square because it came up named Garland Square, so I decided to run with it. We have added a highway exit on the other side over here, and once we remove this rail line here and build a bridge over the highway, we can go ahead and continue the highway on and connect this up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to hit pause. We've surpassed 2 years because it took us several $100,000 to do all of the terraforming that we've done here. We removed, if we go ahead and go to our info views, we removed this. This was the tallest peak, and it was up a couple more lines, but we've leveled this out. That is our tallest peak now, so all of the citizens living up here have a nice view of the town and will have a nice view of downtown. We have also moved a lot of this soil over here. We've taken a lot of this land back. We've added a bunch of soil. We just reached the max on soil limit and had to dump some. So to get back into what we were talking about, we're going to add another tram station over here. Sorry, another monorail station over here. But the first thing that we need to do is to delete this railway. So we're going to go ahead and delete this rail line, and it will automatically terraform all of the soil back down to where it should be. And then we can go ahead and reconnect the rail line. We're going to do a little bit more terraforming and rearranging over on this side. This is where our public transit train option is going to be. And this will bring outside tourism to our city. That's why we're going to put another monorail over here. The monorail will connect very closely next to this train line, and then citizens can hop right on the monorail and head down to either Emerson Square or Meadow Park. We have rearranged quite a bit on the monorail. We moved this line up, this stop. It was at the very end over here. However, we had a bunch of citizens down here with noise complaints, noise sickness. So we kept this space free. We added a bunch of trees as a little bit of sound buffer. We added a park here. These are 3 little commercial buildings. They're low density commercial, so no problem. And the citizens back here seem to be far enough away. And it's next to the parks here, so it just made logical sense. So all of it is around parks. All of this is either around the roundabout or more businesses, office buildings. You can see all of those people there. That's pretty cool. I don't like how close this is to the roundabout, but we haven't had problems yet. If we need, we can move it later. We removed the other line over here, and we are going to connect this line all the way across here, and it will destroy these businesses. I've already checked. These 2 little businesses here will go away, but that's all right. We've also added quite a few cemeteries around town. We added one here, right next to Emerson Square. We added one to Meadow Park by extending this road here, and it's right off the highway, not the greatest spot to be buried. We also added another one on Meadow Square, and I kind of like it. It's next to an industrial area, however, it's right next to the donut factory, the bakery. So it smells like donuts and fresh baked bread every day. That's a pretty good place to be buried, if you ask me. And I think we added one more, but I don't remember right now. Nonetheless, we had quite a bit of a problem with people dying over those 2 years. So let's go ahead and reconnect this highway, and that will service the needs to get the highway under. We can change that bridge if you want. You can also kind of terraform on the end of the bridge lines, kind of like we did over here, to get it more raised up and next to the rail line, much like we did next to the road over there and over here. You can do that if you'd like, but real quick, let's go ahead and connect this highway up. And all of that can now be hooked up and ready to go. We have already added our cargo train terminal over here. However, we need to go ahead and get the final touches on this line coming in. The line coming out looks a little bit crooked, but it kind of works, and I kind of like the way that it worked out. I could not make the sharp turn without landing right there at the intersection, so I added a small piece of straight rail line next to them and then connected those up, and it really looks cool. I like it. And it also kind of blends in through the trees. I really like the way that looked, but this just connects right there at the end of the line there. That's fine, so we can go ahead and hit play. And we can go ahead and turn this on. This is our cargo train terminal. And we can start getting people, goods shipped out of our city. Now, we have a highway exit here without connections. So what we need to do is actually hit pause again real quick. And I don't know if we can go above this. I don't believe we can. We might be able to. And there we go. So the exits now go underneath the rail line as well, which works out pretty well. So we will not be building up the soil over there. That works out just fine. And we can go ahead and hit play again. And we've got our cargo train terminal up and running. We have moved the police station, fire station, and we've also moved the elementary school. We've added a couple parks over here. This section is called Cooper Heights. Feel free to name the section in the comments below. However, it's not the greatest section. It's just some gravel roads. We can now delete this off of here. And I want to take a look and see how this looks. Oh, hit pause. So I wanted to see how that looks, and that doesn't look too bad. If we need, we can add a couple roads and add a couple more things, but I kind of wanted to just close that in as a little bitty area kind of across the way from this cargo train terminal. We may add on to this area at a later date, but first of all, let's go ahead and get Garland Square operational. We've already added the water lines. So this area, I just want to have a little bit of commercial, a little bit of low density commercial. That's going to wipe out all those trees, but that's all right. We want to add a couple parks. Real quick, so since we're on the screen, tourism and leisure, we added quite a few parks over here. So we added a road off of, sorry to give you whiplash there, off of Meadow Square, and we're actually going to redistrict this area into 3 different districts. We've also removed quite a bit of the industry up here as well. We need to figure out where we're going to move the recycling center and the landfill. Once we figure out where we're going to move the garbage, then we can remove the rest of this, wait for the pollution to clear out, and then finish our little bit of building. Once we do that, then we can redistrict this area, and it will be 3 zones. Nonetheless, this area right now, as of Meadow Square, has a few piers coming off of here, and this is one of the creator content packs, and I don't remember what. They don't seem to be operational in the sense of citizens using them. They just seem to be decoration. And these I don't necessarily like because, as you can see, people just go through the stairs. The other one isn't too bad. However, these actually function. This is a fishing pier. No one is using it. Oh, yeah, there's a couple people using it there. This is a fishing pier. This is a marina. And it's really nice to get these level to the water so the boats look good. But it's so low, it's just so much time consuming, so just try not to pay attention to that. This is a restaurant pier, and we also have jet ski rental and a couple more fishing piers, jet ski rental, and one more thing, I believe. Fishing tours, my apologies. Fishing tours, jet ski rentals, and a couple more piers down here. I didn't remove all the soil here. I kind of like the way the rocks look in some spots, but I did remove it in spots that were necessary. I removed all of the rocks here because the marina was sitting on top of the rocks. But I kind of like the way the land looks there, and a little bit of rock, and a little bit of rock exposure underneath the restaurant. So I went ahead and left that, and I like the way the piers are. I don't know if we're going to keep this or not. I know I want to remove that tree. But we'll wait. We had a lot of water splashing around, and we actually had a couple citizens drowning down here. But with all the work that we've done. So let's go ahead and get right into what we're talking about. This should encompass all of our citizens on both sides between these two parks. We may have to add one more, maybe down here at the end, but that should work. So then we need to connect it with electricity. So let's go ahead and run some residents down here. And in this area, this is going to be a little bit more, as I said, kind of hoity-toity, a little bit more fancy. So we're going to keep these houses quite a bit apart from each other. I think we're going to go ahead and do this, though. We'll put them on the end of the street. And then somewhere in the middle, we'll do another house, but that's kind of too much, really, as it is. But I want to connect the electricity. So we're going to add one more house down here as well. And I think we'll add a small one here. And eventually that should connect really quick here. And now that that's connected naturally, we don't have to add any power lines, and that works just fine. Our population to start the episode, to start the off-camera play, was at 8,000. It has steadily been growing. We're at 8,700, but you can see the next milestone is 12,000, so we've got a while to reach. We won't be reaching that accomplishment in today's episode, so let's go ahead and off-camera, go ahead and finish zoning the rest of this. So now we've got our zoning organized, and we've kind of did 4 and then 2 spaces, 4 and then 2 spaces, 4 and then 2 spaces, all down this straight road down here. I'm not sure if we're going to connect this Hickory Street over to what would be Crest Street as of right now. I'm not sure if we're going to connect that, but as you can see, very sparse zoning, a little bit denser back here, but very sparse zoning all around. I kind of want to keep this very just, you know, house on the hills, very luxurious area, spaced out from your neighbors. The little bit of Garland Square that is a square is this commercial area here, and it is thriving, as you can see. We did have a fire in a couple of the buildings, but we've taken care of that by adding a fire station here. So the firehouse is one of the first things, and I really like, this roundabout is temporary in a sense. We will have a roundabout here, but we're gonna change the terrain and stuff. Nonetheless, I like the way that you come up the hill, and then as you come in, the first thing that you see is a nice quaint little town, a quaint little area of commercial buildings, and then the firehouse on the right, and then a couple parks. I like it. It's a nice little area. Garland Square is nice. This is our elementary school, but it is a community school. It is part of the Green Cities DLC. It's just another alternative to educating citizens, but it is a little more fancy, so there we go. And this little square here will service the community with what they need. We also have a medical clinic over here. This is a police station on the back side over here. This is the medical clinic right here next to the other park. I like Garland Square, so that area should fill out, and that'll be done by itself. Even when you know you've done the water, you haven't done the water. Really? How are you not covered by water? Nonetheless, whatever. I'm not sure if we're going to connect all these streets in the back here with a nice big looping street, but we'll figure that out at a later time. Nonetheless, everything is running, so we can go ahead and address the next area, the next facet of public transit, which is train station. The train station allows tourists to travel to and from the city. Place the train station and connect it to the rail line leading out to allow trains to come and go automatically. All you need to do is add this to your city and you will start getting tourists. If we go to our info views and we go to our transportation, you can see tourists per week, 2, 1. There's 3 tourists total per week serviced by our public transit. That number will flip-flop as soon as we add this. So we're going to go ahead and go off camera, develop a little bit of a residential area for over here in Barlow District, mostly kind of commercial area, but a couple residents. And we'll go off camera and we will pick this right back up. And how? How is there not water? We'll figure that out too. Welcome back. We have now kind of completed a relatively decent little area over here. Barlow District is kind of 2 districts now because you can see the train. So let's go ahead. Zoom out a little bit. The roundabout, we've adjusted the train and we have the roundabout functioning properly now. It only has 2 ways to go. You can go up to Garland Square or you can come around the back to Garland Square. This way you can go to Barlow District. This is our train line here. You can see our train station. Not the greatest terrain to be working with, but I think I did pretty good. I think it looks all right. Just slopes down pretty quick coming in and out of the terminal this way, but that's fine. Barlow District is all shopping. That's why we have the statue of shopping placed right here. We also added a little park and connected all of it with park paths. You can see the areas that we've zoned off. We kind of have just a whole wall back here, but kind of sparse little areas here, here. We've already got a few businesses moved in. I think this is going to be a very successful little area. We have no residents, and I don't think that we're going to bring residents over to this area. We've also added Oriental Hills. So this little area here is part of Barlow District. This is high density commercial shopping. All of this is high density commercial, but it has the leisure specialization. So it's mostly bars and stuff like that. We will go into that once we hit play and allow this to go ahead and play along. Once we get a few businesses, we'll show you the types of businesses that go there. And that specialization is part of the After Dark DLC, and we have now finished the rest of our monorail. The monorail now comes past Emerson Square here, across the highway, and over to Oriental Hills. I wanted to keep it kind of in line, but I also kind of wanted to keep the elevation about the same. We had it down here for a second, but it just looked too ridiculous. So they do have to walk a little bit to get from the train station over to the monorail hub. However, I think they'll be all right with that. I don't think they'll mind. Hopefully I'm correct in that assumption. Let's go ahead and complete this road. I think that'll make transportation a lot easier. And then let's go ahead and reevaluate all of the areas that we have zoned off. We can remove these areas here now that we've changed the road. So let's remove that, and I think that's about it. I think all this can stay. Oh, we don't need any of these zoned off right next to the monorail. We can remove all of that, and let's go ahead and get another little layer back here. We'll leave a 3x3 here, and a 2x2 there, and we'll go ahead and leave that as well. So now, that is our district. Let's go ahead and hit play. We need some people to move into Garland Square over here. We need to grow our population a little bit. We are at 8,900, almost at 9,000, very close to 9,000. We have had problems with our garbage the entire game. We need to take care of that in the next episode. That needs to be a huge priority. However, everything is looking good. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very much enjoying this city. Thank you very much for joining us and playing along for this Let's Play series. We need some electric up here at Oriental Hills. That makes sense. Since we removed everything and changed everything up, so let's go ahead. This will be removed later, but can we go? Of course we can't. Can we go there? Yeah, of course we can. So there we go. We'll waste a bunch of money on that, but we'll remove that later. It will connect the electric for now. We have some businesses moving into this area over here. I think this will be a bustling little area. Have we had any passenger service last week? 0. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 3 times speed. We'll go ahead and get this going before we end the episode. We've got some water problems. That is purely budgetary. We just need to turn this up a little bit more. We need to address that problem as well. As you can see, we are emptying the cemetery and the landfills. We think we can turn this off. Yeah, we're down to... Yeah, we're fine. We can go ahead and turn that off. Get people coming back in there. I don't know if that's the best way to think about that, but nonetheless, Cooper Heights is doing all right. You can see all the cars bustling around that little area. You can see our cargo train terminal. Cargo train terminal. It doesn't have like a number for passengers serviced, obviously, but you can see the trains moving in and out, and we have enough space on each end that the trains can stop and one can stop here waiting to get onto the rail tracks, and another can go ahead and pull in. You want to have enough room on each ends. Each side has that ability. You can see traffic is immense over here. So all of that is most likely, yeah, we are moving along nicely. This is a bustling little area already. I don't know why people would be going down this way. Sorry you despawned, but there's no reason for you to go that way. Nonetheless, this is a bustling little area. We need to get that water taken care of. Let's just bump this up to 150 to go ahead and end off the episode. You can see in the next episode or two, we need to take care of this. We have this problem here where it says not enough natural resources, and they have that problem here as well. The only two natural resources that you need for farmland here at Bluebird Pastures and any game is water and land. So that means the land underneath there is a little too dark. That's the only problem that you have there. Otherwise, water creates crops and you're good to go. We will address that and many other issues in the next few episodes. We need to add maybe a couple more little tree buffers here. Let's go ahead and add another tree or two and see if this will take care of this. We've got a few more sick people up there. I don't know if that will work, but we'll see. And look at that. Already they're gone. Obviously they were picked up, but hopefully that stays away. You can see this is a bustling little area too. All these alleyways back here. Behind, what was this? Meadow Park. Behind Meadow Park. All of these little alleyways are bustling with people. And the theory is that this monorail will move the residents all the way up to their jobs here in this little office park. We still have a lot of space here to fill in, and I think we're going to go ahead and fill in the waterfront of over here later. And get all of the people maybe in this farmland, working and living in this farmland. They can go over to the bar district. They can go down and see their friends and family over here. Any one of these stops is close to a bus stop. You want your public transit to cross lines. So our bus stop lines, let's go ahead and go to our info views here. Our public transit, you can see our bus stop lines. We have the purple route, does a little loop over here and a little loop over here. We have the green route, does a little loop over here and a little loop over here. But they stop right next to where they need to stop. We have a green stop right here next to the monorail. The green stops also close to this purple line here. This is the tram line. You want your public transit to intersect with one another. So someone living over here can go ahead and take a bus to get over here. Once they get over here, they can hop on this monorail, and then they can go all the way up here, and then they can take a train all the way out of town and go to another city, and vice versa. People can come and visit us now. This is going to help immensely with our tourism. Obviously, we're finally connected. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We have someone leaving, so that is, let's hit pause, 105 serviced last week. Let's see how many people are on this train. Seven people. Now, let's go ahead and hit play. That means everyone is coming out of the train station. All of these people are coming to visit our fair city. And let's see how many run over to this monorail. We've got about 30 people there, I would say. 20 people maybe. All of these people are definitely headed towards the monorail. And they are going to hop on this monorail and then go down into downtown. Look at all the people coming off of the monorail. The monorail was kind of stagnant. There wasn't much traffic. All of these people are shopping, doing whatever they want to do. There wasn't much traffic on the monorail, and that's why I wanted to add this. So we've got game arcade, spectacular bowling, karate, restaurant, weightlifting. It's just a different brand of buildings that come through. Oh, that's really cool. That is really cool. I like that. The way the monorail goes in between the two buildings. That's really cool. I like that a lot. So that's our little party town on the hills over here, next to our commercial area. And once all this got built, I wanted to go ahead and do a quick little soften terrain, just to make this look a little bit more natural around here. The monorail was very stagnant. Not many people were using it, and I think we're going to have to go in to get that to look any better, but that kind of looks okay, really. I think that'll be all right. All of these people around this area, this is fantastic, guys. This is wonderful. Once again, the monorail was kind of stagnant. It didn't have many people using it. We now have 229 passenger service last week, 116, 139, and 175. That is fantastic. Now our monorail is actually worth it. We're going to go ahead and end the episode because we need to take care of the water before we start the next episode. Bump this down to 1x speed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the channel. Welcome to CCSC. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.